When we first met, it was a bit of a mystery, like, new people, new faces, different skills.
We didn't have a story from the outset, so there was a lot of brainstorming and figuring things out.
The story started out basically with us figuring out a character design that was easy to animate in 3D.
They're inking the idea of doing like a character with an object for a head, and we were like, what object would be like fun and interesting that hasn't been overdone before? Like we went through a bunch of iterations. We had like a notepad, we had a fishbowl. We really liked the idea of being a liquid in a container of sorts. And we hadn't really seen the Bunsen burner neck thing done before. We were like, let's try to break out of the box a little bit.
Storyboarding process was really interesting. At first, it was a lot slower and kind of focused more on drama.
It changed a lot throughout production, and I remember having to do the animatic over the summer, and thankfully after workshopping everything, we got to a good place and we were able to move forward.
I worked on the 3D model of our character. I first started it in ZBrush and modeled it from there, and then brought it into Maya. I had to get a lot of help because I've only modeled in ZBrush before, like one time before this, so it was a little bit of a struggle.
One of my jobs was to rig the character that we needed for the film. We only had one character, but it was pretty challenging reaching out to some of the tech professors, as well as a peer tutor named Daniela, in order to help me learn different stuff on how to rig the character and how to rig it right.
So I worked on the layouts for the 3D side, I worked on the environments, I modeled and textured all of them. Had the essence of the cartoony world that we have in the 2D scene, but also make it viable in a 3D, more realistic sense as well.
Admiral, his neck is a Bunsen burner, which, has a little flame coming out of it. 3D, we weren't really sure how to go about it, so we decided to switch to 2D. That took some time and research and quite a bit of a headache, but I was able to figure it out.
Our director sort of pitched Ladno to me in the beginning as someone who's brilliant, but also kind of awkward. So that was something I kind of tried to look for when I was animating him. Like this kind of awkwardness, linkiness, but also someone who knows what he's doing when it comes to what he's trying to accomplish.
2D, we went with like, well, we're gonna animate on twos, we're gonna like do very silhouette heavy stuff, we're gonna focus a little less on having like dimensionality because we have that benefit in 2D.
We were going for an animation style that was close to older cartoons with a thicker outline, thinner inner lines. Think stuff like Tartakovsky and Powerpuff Girls, like Professor Utonium. That was one of the main draws.
One thing I'm really proud of my team is like we all have our own weaknesses or things we never done, and we had the chance to finally like take risks and just like find something that we enjoy. So I did very little backgrounds but never like fully render, and I was so excited to have the idea and just experiment with like my early style, but like make like the background have meaning, have express the story of the character.
Of course, with post-production, the last thing we really focused on was compositing. We kind of ended up splitting that across most of the 2D team until we figured out a consistent style to go across, and we were able to just do everything from there.
I got to bring together so many sounds, make up new sounds for the teleportation, mixing sounds together, trying to do some Foley work and everything to make the audio landscape feel real in the film. I just put a bunch of the scenes from the renders and the 2D animation as well together with the sound and the music. Kevin Lindsley, Aiden's father, did the music of the film, and then we got the final film.
Overall, I think the film turned out very well. Like, we have been pushed in many different areas, just from pre-production to post to now. I think it all came together, and it's a great piece. Once everyone gets to see it, I think they'll share the same sentiments I do.
I'd say it was a pretty fun experience with most everybody on the team, and I am glad though that it's over. I'm finally glad to be getting out into the real world.
I will say this, the final film, I am extremely proud of my team. I met so many talented people, so many new things I've seen, so many things I was impressed, so many skills that people never done that were like, you know what, I'll take one for the team.
was like, wow, we made the film, even though we didn't have tech people. We rigged a character and animated it. We only had 8 people too.
To me, this project meant a lot of learning and experimentation for sure. It's like, okay, we don't know if this is gonna work, but let's just try our best and let's teach ourselves how to do stuff that we wouldn't have learned otherwise. And I'm really proud for everyone having the incentive to do that.
There's this one side I was like, oh, thank God, it's finished. But also the other side that just looked at it was like, wow, we really accomplished something. We actually made something.
It was all about passion and just wanting to make the best film that we could. Even though we had so many hurdles and hardships, we persevered and went through it, and I'm really glad that we came together as a team and made this film.
I'm excited for the film to come out and for everyone to see it, and I'm also looking forward to working on more projects in the future in my career.